Hey there, Wargamers, Justin on Paint here, and today we're going to be checking out the Shadow Cat. I'd like to welcome you guys back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in as always, and today we're going to be showing one of the old metal ones. There might be multiple variants of this, but this is the one I have, old metal Shadow Cat, and on a metal base or pewter base, and the new plastic one. Before we get started today, if you like the paint jobs that you see, make sure you check out Monument Hobbies. Their Paraco line is responsible for most of what I do on my minis, and if you're looking for anything and everything Battletech, Fortress Miniatures and Games, and if you want to check out some of the stuff that we do at my day job, Death Designs, check out the links below. With that being said, let's jump right into it. Shameless plugs out of the way, and let's check out these two mechs. So I'm going to start with the metal one here. I actually really like this. There's some metals that I don't like. I don't like how you can't pose this one very well. It's not an easy thing to do, whereas like the plastics, if you want to repose something, cutting something at a hip, cutting an arm joint or whatever is a little easier with the plastics. The plastics that do give you posability are the metals that do give you posability are a pain in the ass to glue and to get to stick together. However, at least you had that option. With this guy, you had very limited options for posability. So he just kind of has the standard forward-facing thing. I could have done a torso twist, so like he would be like aiming this way or this way, which I do very frequently on my minis. I like to have a little torso twist. The ones that I've got here today won't, but it's a very common thing on some of my stuff. Do I have any over here that do that? Yeah, not any metal ones next to me. Those are all plastic. But anyway, I digress. I really like the Shadow Cat. The stats and the rules and the cards and stuff I've seen are really cool, but I also like the pose. He's got this tiny little hand. This is a strong arm. Whack, whack. And got a cool area. Like, this is a big deal. Let me get a nice close-up here for you guys. Now, I like the ability to paint a cockpit. Doing the jeweling on there, I think, really helps make a mech pop, right? So having a nice area on the cockpit is a plus for me, and this one's got it. And one of the things I like on mechs a lot of times is the asymmetry. So he's got this like melee arm and the shooty arm, and he looks fast, which in the game he's a pretty speedy little guy. And I like it. He's a little girthy up top compared to his plastic counterpart. So let's bring him in and we'll showcase that. So in this case, the metal one is a little bigger. Their heights are very similar though. His legs are probably maybe the similar silhouette, but maybe a little girthier in some areas, definitely more fleshed out detail-wise. Still got the nice cockpit to be able to paint. Slightly different design with the metal frame. Definitely a more menacing, well, maybe more of a lateral. I was going to say he's got a more menacing arm, but like this one's got like a claw. This one's got more of a traditional fist, and this one's got 2 fingers and a thumb. This one's actually got the full 3 fingers and a thumb, so there's a little difference there. I still got the gun arm on the side. They're both very different. I really like that kind of detail there with the like vent ports there, or coolant sink kind of vibe. I guess that's like an air cooling sheath or something, but I also like this. This is very cool. This is a model where like I think having both would be warranted because they're very different. This one might get rolled into being like a Wolf Dragoon or something for me, some kind of Merc maybe, or rolled into one of my other forces, but all in all, of the metal mechs I've got versus the plastics, the Shadow Cat I feel has held up pretty well. It's not, not as good, I think. Most people would probably agree, but it's not terrible. It looks pretty nice, even if the metal base I got's a little bigger. It's a little bigger, but I like that. It's got a nice weight to it. So yeah, what are your thoughts? Do you like the new Shadow Cat? Do you like the old one? Is it kind of a 50-50 for you? I know some of these side-by-side comparison videos are a little short. I don't have a whole lot to ramble about, but I figured taking some of the ones I do have models for and putting them on screen so you guys can see them. So if you haven't bought them, or if you're in the market to get a second one and you're like, oh, I would like to have multiple Shadow Cats, but do I want to get the same exact sculpt? Do I want to cut this up, or do I want to buy a metal one? Being able to see them side by side, so you kind of have an idea about the silhouettes, the sizing, the details and stuff, I think is good. So anything that I've got a metal and a plastic version of, I'm going to try and throw up a little video like this so you guys can get a side-by-side comparison. But as always, I do pass it off to you guys. What do you think? Is this something that's near and dear to your heart because you started with the metals, or you like the Shadow Cat, or do you really like the plastics because that's what you started with, or are you somewhere in between where you had metals, you got the plastics now, and you like both? What are your thoughts? Sound off in the comments below. As always, if you enjoy the Battletech content I put out, whether it's battle reports, these little side-by-side comparisons when I can do them, unboxings, and or unit reviews, things of that nature, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. That being said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed checking out those Shadow Cats. Hopefully it helps you. But it's time to go. So as always, keep rolling those dice, keep painting those models, and I'll catch you guys next time.